Yo, what's up? I want to welcome you to the new series Q&A with TLA. This is a concept from Cyrus, executive produced by myself. So we're about to kick things off. I hope you enjoy. We're going to take you on a wild ride. This is raw and uncut. Yeah, we go there. Yeah. Welcome to Black Hollywood.
Everybody, this is Q&A with TLA. I'm your host Cyrus, and I'm with my boy TLA, also known as Tajaya L. Antoine, also known as Blacktastic. You know what I'm saying? And we are here on our first episode. I'm excited about this because this is something that we've been talking about for a while, and I'm just honored and privileged to sit here and bring this vision to fruition. So yeah, I wanna give the floor to the man of the hour, TLA. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. It could be a little better. My Cowboys lost again.
Oh,
Damn it.
oh man.
But my Dodgers are in the playoffs, so that's cool. But other than that, man, I don't get hung up on that stuff too much. Life is good. Man, I'm really excited about this new series we got going on, man. This is cool. Like you said earlier, we've been talking like this for years over the
Mm-hmm.
phone, and we
Mm-hmm.
think about how can we get this, to cross over so people can know how we think, how we talk, how we communicate, and how men of color get down behind closed doors as far as conversation, uplifting each other. And I think this is the right format and the right time to
Mm-hmm.
bring this to light and show everybody what we got.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, 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 man. So I think we'll kick it off about the TLA Cyrus connection, the brothers having a meeting of minds. Myself and TLA initially crossed paths by way of YouTube. Um, so oddly enough, Jordan Peele brought us together because he dropped the trailer for his second film, Us, on Christmas Day of 2018. And that was a good time in my life because our brother had just got a new job. Brother had just got a new job, and everything was everything was peachy in the world of Cyrus. And so on Christmas Day, the Jordan Peele trailer dropped. And what I do when a trailer drops like that, when a trailer has so much eyes and buzz around it, I go on YouTube and I look at the reactions and the commentary of said trailer. And what I did was, I looked specifically for Black content creators' reviews and reactions to the Jordan Peele trailer because there's a lot of nuances in Black films that only us can grasp. You know what I'm saying? And so, my searching for content was zoned in on us, on our content creators. So one person I stumbled upon was TLA. He did the reaction to the Us trailer, and just the layout on his page, I thought it was just dope. You know what I'm saying? Everything was in black and white. The brother had a laid back, calm demeanor. It was like, listening or talking to a older brother or uncle just kicking game about films. And I gravitated to that. And so what I did was I went down his whole page, and his page was hilarious. It was entertaining. Um, the the review for replicas had me in stitches. That's a classic to this day. You know, the true stories were great. Everything was fire. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, I gotta subscribe to bro. Then, I would comment on his channel here and there. I would give him recommendations. And then I started following him on social media. We got cool on social media. I saw that he was shooting his short films on a mobile device, a cell phone. I had lenses for cell phones that I never used. So I just sent it to him, just, to help a brother out, just showing love, you know what I'm saying? And we just got tight from there. One thing led to another, you know. I'm acting in one of his films. He's doing voiceover work for one of my films, and we have a brotherhood that has transpired for about the last 3 years, man. This is my bro, and we've been tight ever since. And we rap every day about this film stuff, and how our aspirations are coming to fruition, man, because we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and we just encourage each other, man, on this film endeavor, and not only this film endeavor, this black film endeavor, because the black film is there's a special sauce that goes into it. There's, like I said, there's nuances in black films that we know how to implement into our our recipe, and so that's how we met, man. And here we are, man. And again, this show is a reflection and basically a culmination of our phone conversations that we had about films that have came out in the past and where we were when those films came out, especially when we talk about legacy black films. I always pick TLA's brain on where he was and what happened on the opening nights, and he has the best stories, man. So here we are.
Yep. You covered everything, brother. Our conversations are none short than epic. We cover everything, man. And with the various age groups that we know in our camaraderie with our comrades, between me, you, Q, and G, we cover so much ground and years of black film that we all have our own unique story. And you being the youngest out of all of us, like, man, please tell me what it was like opening night, because, man, like I said, I'm a big time movie goer, and I still love films and going to the movies, not as much now as I did back then. It was just a different experience back then. And some of the things that I experienced in the theater, the people that I went with, the conversations we had afterwards, technically changed my life when it comes to film. Quentin Tarantino's films left an impression on me. Spike Lee left an impression on me. Even my man Tim Burton left an impression on me. I cater and I really look into black film and black filmmakers, but all genres and genders touch me in some kind of way. A good filmmaker is a good filmmaker, no matter what creed or color. But
Right.
those are some of my favorites. And me and this man here, we discuss everything from top to bottom.
Mhm.
And it only makes us better as independent filmmakers. And hey, we always have a good laugh because my stories
The best, man. The best
are
story ever.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. So I figured what we'll do is we'll take one particular director. We both love Quentin Tarantino. He both left an impression on us, and I have some very unique stories dealing with Mr. Tarantino since '84 when I was introduced to him. I didn't see Reservoir Dogs right away. It was Pulp Fiction was my first introduction to Quentin. And how this worked out was I finished college. I was working full time as a UPS driver. But some of my homeboys from high school, we were still real tight. And my buddy Lorenzo Thornton, he worked at the movie theater. And he's a big movie goer, movie pundit. And he's like, dude, you gotta see this movie, Pulp Fiction. I'm like, all right, well, if you say so, I trust his judgment because we have similar tastes. And this movie Started out small, then they got bigger and bigger. I started seeing ads on TV. I'm like, oh, okay. And back then, it wasn't about the internet. It was about the newspaper. I would get the newspaper every day. I'll read, go through all the sections. And when I got to the entertainment section, I always read the comments and the reviews on certain films. And this Pulp Fiction just kept popping up. I said, all right, man, let's check it out. So we went to the North area. They got all the big theaters out there in the North area, you know. And we drove all the way out there. And he says, man, be ready. And you got to remember, back then, there was no assigned seating. You know, you get in where you fit in, you get your ticket, and you scramble for a good seat. That's the way it was. It was fun back then. So we got our popcorn, our candy, and I sat down. So, all right, man, you know, if it's everything you said it's going to be, we're going to see. Theater went dark as I was introduced to Pulp Fiction. And let me tell you, just the opening scene when homeboy and homegirls in that little cafe talking, and the conversation was kind of quirky. I'm like, oh, okay, she's kind of weird. He's kind of weird, you know. And then all of a sudden, they're going to rob the place. And it goes to a freeze frame when she stood up. Then it said, I'm like, and the title came down like this. And I'm like reading all the people in this movie. And some of these people wasn't popular back then. You know, they was just, you know, obscure actors and actresses. Mm-hmm. I think John Travolta was probably the biggest actor besides maybe Bruce Willis. Mm-hmm. And I know Samuel because all the Spike Lee joints. Mm-hmm. He was in School Days. He was in Do the Right Thing. He was in Jungle Fever. So that's how I knew that cat. And I'm saying, he's in this movie with a Jerry curl? This is a trip. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching this movie and I'm paying close attention because I follow everything. I try to figure, okay, what year is this? The way they're dressing,
right?
Looks like the 1970s, but they got cellular phones with antennas. You know, hello. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I'm confused. And the way they was talking was real hip, but the hairstyles and the clothes said otherwise. Mm-hmm. I'm like, and I can tell by the way they were talking, they was in LA, and I recognized some of the landmarks. I said, okay. So I'm just enjoying the film, not trying to pick it apart too much because, you know, I take it as it comes. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I didn't know it was being told out of order. You know, I was going, okay, one story here. I thought it was like little vignettes, and later on it'd tell a different story. I didn't know what was happening. And that's what happened. I'm like, I've never, ever seen a movie like this. And the dialogue was so tangible that you can grab the words and squeeze the life out of them. I'm like, man, this dude is a hell of a writer. Not knowing who Quentin Tarantino was, did not know he was acting in his own film. And the most abrasive character in this movie happened to be Quentin. I'm like, man, who is this white boy saying the N-word in front of his brother? He ain't shooting him. I'm tripping.
Right.
But then I paid attention. I'm like, he had a flashback talking about his wife, and she looked black.
Yep.
So I was scratching my head, you know, trying to figure everything out. And then we're going to come to the scene that everybody at one time or another talked about. It was the scene of my man, Vin Rhymes, and he was small time at the time, got caught by those weirdos in that shop, and you heard some grunting and some muffled sounds. I'm like, I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, start scratching my neck, like, hey man, I know I ain't what I think it is. I looked at my boy, I said, hey man, I know it ain't what I think it is. And he's looking straight. He's like, I said, hey man, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? He's like, I'm like, man, he wouldn't give up the goods. And then it cuts to the scene and my mouth dropped. I'm like, wow, this is vivid. And then what Bruce Willis did to save homeboy, who was his enemy at the time, there's just something about men being men, team up together against evil. Because in
Hmm.
prison, there's the browns, the blacks, the white boys, and the others. That's how they identify each other. But when things go awry, certain team of people team up together and become, you know,
Ally.
mortal allies. And that's what happened. Bruce Willis was like, this man is being wronged by two other men. He went in there and took care of business. And I've never seen a dude after what he went through had dialogue that made him even more than a man than he was before what happened. I'm like, man, this dude is the hardest black dude I've ever seen in cinema in '94. That speech is epic. Everybody quotes it. You know, I'm gonna get medieval on your ass. I've never heard nothing like that
Yeah.
come out of nobody's mouth. And what he did to them, and he looked at Bruce Willis, when you gone, you be gone. Bruce Willis was like, okay, okay.
Mhm.
And after that movie was over, I looked at my man. He's like, yeah, man, I couldn't give up nothing. I said, man, I'm glad you didn't. He kept a straight face, and that movie changed my movie going experience forever. I've never seen a movie told out of order like that, and I never seen characters so colorful. I liked everybody in that movie, man. Everybody was dope. The weirdos, everything. I'm like, wow, the drug use. You got my man John Travolta dancing again. I ain't seen him dance since Grease.
Mhm.
And who is this Uma Thurman lady? 'Cause I seen her in all the promotion and all the posters. And I'm like, wow, this woman is drop dead gorgeous. She's kind of offbeat, but that's what's sexy about her.
Right.
And this movie got nominated for all kind of awards and Oscars. And I'm like, man. Then the movie got popular. I went back three more times to see this movie in theaters for a total of four times. Fell in love with Quentin Tarantino. And one night I went to see the movie with my homeboy Scott. And afterward, we went to a club. 'Cause right across the street from the mall we went to see the movie, there was a club. I mean, man, look, it's Friday night. We both don't work tomorrow. Let's go to the club and hang out and have a few drinks. And I'm over there kicking it, you know. And I met this little snow bunny, little honey bun.
You got a cue. You got to splice in Dr. Umar.
Hey, man, you know, I was dancing, doing my thing. She chose me. Well, it's different. Let me backtrack. Let me backtrack.
Okay.
Oh man, that same year, about a week or two previously, I DJ'd a party, actually a wedding reception with my homeboy Dwight. We did this big old nice gigantic wedding reception, right? And you know, when you're a DJ, you get free drinks, free food. So all the help from the establishment was bringing us food, you know, and drinks. There was catering to bottles, you know, cake and dessert. We back there just spinning records. You know, that's the easiest gig is weddings and you know, the after party because you playing all the top hits so everybody can dance, right? There was a
Hmm.
white couple that got married, so it's like, oh, you want to hear some Elvis? You want to hear some of this? You want to hear Young MC? You know, it's safe rap. And one of the ladies that kept serving me kept giving me the fuck me eyes. Like she was like, mm. I was like, oh,
Mm.
and I'm like, dude, am I tripping? Dwight's like, and my buddy Dwight's Jamaican. He's like, nah, man, she's on your nuts, man. I said, oh, okay. And she was from New York. She was Italian, blonde hair, short, voluptuous, had a nice physique. And she kept serving me and giving me the googly eyes. I was like, okay. Then she finally said, look, are you going to get at me or do I got to get at you? I'm giving you all the looks I got, trying to get your attention. So we exchanged numbers and everything, you know, and we'll hook up. We had a couple of phone conversations, but we didn't say a whole lot. She said, meet me at this club downtown. And I said, okay. Now, the thing about it was the club that she told me to meet her at was a gay club. I didn't know that. It's called Faces. And I looked it up what the address and everything was. So I get there And my boy Dwight found out. I said, "No, man, I'm not going with you. That's a gay club." I said, "Man, come on." He said, "Man, if we go together, we run into some people we know, it ain't gonna happen, bro." I'm like, "Oh." And so I ended up going to this club by myself
Mm.
to go meet this girl. Her name was Bobby. And I didn't know she was lesbian, straight lesbian. So I get there, and of course, I beat her there. So I'm in line, and the guy that takes the money and check you was a security guard. He was gay as hell. He was a brother. He's like, "Come here." He's patting me down. I'm like, "Lord have mercy." Lord have mercy. You're thorough. And it was only like $5 to get in, so it was cheap. So I walk into this gay club, and I know I got straight man written all over. I'm walking through the club like,
Mm-hmm.
and this club is huge. It's upstairs, downstairs. They got different sections with different DJs. Club is dope. I see why everybody goes there, even straight people. But I didn't know. So I said, okay, let me wait some time to go to the bathroom and wash my hands. I went to the bathroom. I'm used to seeing urinal screens in between the urinals. In a gay club, they don't have urinal screens. It's all open. So if you pull out your junk and go to the bathroom, eyes are like, and I'm like, God. So I'm uncomfortable. I'm just like, man, I've never been in a situation like this. So this club is huge. I'm talking 300 plus people. I'm walking through each section. Back then, there's no cell phones. So we couldn't like call each other and meet somewhere. So I'm hoping to run into her. I walk to this other section of the club, to the bar, and there she is. I'm like, "Bobby, oh my God." And she see me. I must have been pale white because I was freaking out. She started laughing. And the bartender started laughing. She goes, "Look, they know that you're straight, but trust me, they're going to try their best to get at you. That's just how it is around here." I'm like, wow. I said, "Well, why'd you invite me here?" She goes, "It's a cool place. The music is great." And she, I got a confession. I did tell you that I'm lesbian, but I haven't been with a man in over 15 years. She goes, and after 15 years, for some reason, you're the lucky one. You can taste these tasty cakes. I'm like, what? Did I turn homegirl straight? I'm like, okay. But again, this place is wild, right? So me and Bobby are dancing. While she was dancing with other women, I danced with other women, no big deal. And I met this other white girl. We were dancing, having a good time, But when it was time to leave, the other white girl gave me her number too. She goes, "Hey, here's my number." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But I came with homegirl. Well, she goes, "Look, I don't care." Well, as we walking outside, me and Bobby walk out together to the car, to her car and my car. But as we walking out, some ladies walk up. And Bobby had game. She got that old girl right in front. She was like, "Oh, what's up?" Because her pants was kind of like baggy and saggy. She dressed like a dude. And she wore a tank top, a wife beater. I told her she was stacked. But she was like, put her head to the side and cross. "What's up?" "Yeah, you girl, come here. And she's getting at home girl right in front of me. I'm like, this ain't never happened in my life. I didn't know how to act. I was like, so I just sat back and watched. And then Bobby had up against the wall talking. And I'm like, well, I'm not looking at this. I said, forget it. As I walk into my car, I figured we'd call each other later on in the night, right? We had pagers. And the other white girl said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm about to go home." And she goes, "I see where your date." Well, she's not my date. She is, but not. But she goes, "Look, where do you stay?" I said, "I stay in El Grove." She goes, "I stay in Stockton. Follow me to my crib and we can hang out." What I didn't mention earlier is that we were talking movies, and we was talking Quentin Tarantino. And she said, "Have you ever seen Reservoir Dogs?" I kept talking about Pulp Fiction, how dope it was. She goes, "We know he has another movie." I go, "Really?" "Yeah, 2 years prior, he came out with Reservoir Dogs." I said, "I've never even heard of it." She goes, "Look, I have it at my house. Why don't you come over, come kick it, and we'll watch Reservoir Dogs tonight." I'm like, fuck it. So I followed her all the way to her crib. I'm talking, I guess, 45-minute drive. It was a long ass drive. I'm like, well, it better to end well, all this damn driving, burning up my damn gas, right? And as I get to her house, my pager is blowing up and it's Bobby. I'm like, because Bobby and I were supposed to kick it that night. She goes, "Look, you're going to be the first brother in years to get these tasty cakes." And I was like, well, Bobby, you fucked up. You kept talking to that woman. I bounced. And me and the old girl, we had some drinks. She made breakfast in the kitchen and brought it back to the bedroom. We watched Reservoir Dogs for the first time. And I'm like, this dude, Quentin, is a genius. I'm like, yo. And you know his movies are good if you can go to a club, not alone that, a gay club, meet another straight person, you're talking Quentin Tarantino, and you end up in the sack together. Thank you, Quentin. Your movies are fantastic. So that was my introduction to Quentin Tarantino. The man got me some ass, and I seen the man get his ass taken and come back from it and be a hero. I was like, wow, that's great writing.
Crazy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Man,
Yeah, man.
man, listen, man. I can only imagine seeing that film in theater on a big screen. Because I always go, because I only saw it on home video when it came to home video, right? When it first came to home video, my older brother, he's a couple years older than you, but that was his jam. Him and his homies used to watch it on you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On TV. That was I think it gained more popularity on home video
Yeah, it did.
than when it was in theaters, because that was viral before viral. You know what I'm saying? That movie.
Yeah.
And the following year, with the Oscar nod for the best screenplay, you know what I'm saying, that brought it over the top. And I think that solidified him as a household name. And so people were just waiting, you know, starving like Marvin for a Cool J song for what his next joint is going to be. And, you know, he created a whole bunch of copycats around that time. Everybody wanted to, you know, have characters in their films that had snappy dialogue, that were just not the best of people, but they were cool. He was the first modern in the 90s. He was the first modern rock star director. You know what I'm saying? I would say. You know, Spike Lee was our brother, but as far as a rock star, you know, like larger than life director, who his name had that McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's appeal. You know what I'm saying? His name alone had marketability. You know, It's like if his name was on it, that was a brand in and of itself. And so, you know, what I saw him doing cinema, I haven't seen anything like it since. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because I remember when Pulp Fiction was available for VHS rental. This movie was so good. When you go rent it, the person who works at the counter will have a conversation about the movie. When I'm renting Pulp Fiction, oh yeah, man. I said, yeah, I seen it 4 times at theater. Yeah, man, I seen it 6. Did you know Quentin used to work at a video store back in the day? I'm like, what? You know, it sparked conversation, just his name alone. Dude was, like you said, he was a rock star.
Rock star for real. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, speaking of rock star, we're gonna go about 18 years ahead.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about this here Django.
Oh man.
Now, I was fortunate enough to see this in theater, and just going back a little bit in time. The first Quentin Tarantino film I've ever seen in theater was Kill Bill, and that was the movie. Kill Bill is the movie. There's 2 movies that made me want to be a filmmaker. Spike Lee's Bamboozled and Quentin's Kill Bill. Those 2 films did it for me, you know. And so when I saw Kill Bill in theater, man, I just, it was nothing like it. But Django, and I've been wrestling with this for a long time. Kill Bill, as you can see, that's my number 1 film of all time. However, and I know Pulp Fiction was like his, that, you know, that was his masterpiece that everybody remembers. And some would say that he hasn't topped it. Some would say that he has topped it. But man, I have an internal battle with myself as far as Django possibly being his best film. So, brother TLA, I want to hear your experience of seeing Django opening weekend.
One that I would never forget. And like years later, I'm the same as you. I struggle. What's his best film to me?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm leaning towards Django because it's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our ancestors went through that. And I grew up on Roots when I was a kid. It was on network TV for the whole week. My parents watched it. I watched it with my parents, and it was just sad, man. And they had some good moments, but slavery is a subject that always makes my stomach curdle. I get sad thinking about it. My parents both picked and pulled cotton. My grandparents did the same thing, and their parents were slaves. I'm not that far removed from slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So in this movie, the marketing was like, wow, this is, Django, the D is silent. I'm like, well, how is he talking Martin? Well, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but that's Quentin for you. And I love Jamie Foxx.
Jamie
I'm
Foxx.
like, okay, you got one of my favorite actor comedians, singers, hooking up with one of my favorite rock star directors. I didn't know how this was going to go, but the marketing was superb. So I remember opening night, me and my boy, Charles Young, and my son, he was old enough to take to a rated R movie. I said, look, I bought tickets. We're going to go see Django Unchained. My son was like, yeah. My boy Charles was like, cool, 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 cool.
How old was your son?
What year did Django came out?
2012.
2012. He's probably like 14 or something like that.
Oh, okay, this is your oldest son.
Yeah, my oldest.
Okay.
So he was very impressionable at the time, right? So he's about 14 when we seen this. And I never forget it, man. We sat in that theater, it went dark. You can count the black people on one hand in that theater.
Wow.
So it was that kind of situation. And we went to a screening. It was a Thursday night. We didn't go on a Friday night. So it was a smaller crowd. It wasn't jam-packed, but there was a number of white folks there. But these white folks were what you call hipsters. They're not racist. They're into Quentin. They're into hip-hop music. But yet and still, when you watch the movie about slavery, I don't care what they like.
Exactly.
It's uncomfortable to be around people of non-color.
Let me ask you this. Now in my theater, when certain things happened that were kind of supposed to be funny, did you hear them uncomfortable laughs from the white folks in your theater?
Yep.
Like clockwork.
Well, for one, we sat right in the middle, and people were kind of scattered around the seating, so they didn't see us. If you sat in front of us, there was black people sitting behind you. So those quote unquote black jokes, yeah, they got a kick out of that. Especially when my man Don Johnson came on the scene at that ranch.
Mm-hmm.
They thought he was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I did too, but I was pissed off at the same time. But that's good writing.
Mm-hmm.
But the opening of the movie just was crushing. It looked so real. The change around the ankles, the blood, the tearing of the skin. Oh man, it was so vivid. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this movie. And then our two men finally hooked up, and he told a story about his wife. So I'm gonna help you get your wife back. I'm gonna, make you a free man, and you be able to hunt and kill white folks. And I'm like, now that's a hook for that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass, man. And then he was riding on a horse through the town. They never seen a black man on a horse, and the way he was riding, his head up, I'm like, okay. Jamie acted his ass off in that
He
movie.
acted as yeah,
Yeah, and that movie has some uncomfortable moments, man. Some uncomfortable
yeah.
moments. The
I can't front.
KKK.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I
Go
can't
ahead.
front. This when Jamie was on the horse and the
Uh
white dude stopped. There's a nigger on the horse.
huh. I laughed. I ain't gonna lie. I laughed. Like I said,
Yeah,
funny
I
is
laughed.
funny, you know. And I'm like, wow. And then the KKK, they was funny.
Yeah,
They was
like
inept.
yeah, the pre KKK.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah,
So we
man.
sitting through this movie, the uncomfortable parts, when the two men were fighting, that was tough to watch, man.
The Mandingo
The
fights.
Mandingos, man, that
Yeah,
was
yeah, it's
that was
tough.
tough. But I'm gonna tell you what, my favorite scene in the movie, before that happened, on that ranch where Don Johnson was staying at and had all those black women staying there. And that one dude was gonna whoop that woman. He had her tied to a tree. And my man Django seen that and went to her rescue. I'm gonna tell you this with a straight face. I've never seen on any type of media a man of color whip a white man during slavery times with a bullwhip. I've never seen that.
Right.
So when Jamie grabbed that whip and the way he ran and was pow, the guy was going, ah!
Mm-hmm.
I stood up and cheered like at a football game and was clapping. Charles looked at me, he stood up and started yelling and clapping. My son looked at me and said, fuck yeah. My son stood up and was clapping. And man, I've never had an experience like that in my life. And I've seen every Steven Spielberg movie there is, Jurassic Park and all them big. This wasn't a blockbuster, but it was my blockbuster to see a white man get whooped by a slave or a former slave. And Jamie, all the aggression for all the slaves that went through slavery, he took it out on that white man and whipped his ass. And I stood and white people turned around and looked at us and was like, I can't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Let them have it. And then we sat down and I had a slight tear in my eye, man. I never seen that before. And Quentin gave me that satisfaction. And the movie was tough to sit through, a lot of moments when they caught Jamie, had him strung up. But man, let me tell you, at the end of that movie, when he got his gun and went to that house, started shooting everybody, blowing people through other walls and doorways, and the way he took out Samuel L. Jackson, man, I loved it. At the end, he got on that horse. Now, horse was like dancing. He was on top of that horse with a cigar.
Mm-hmm. He left with his lady.
Man, I love that movie.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
And acting, I mean, I love my man, Leonardo, and everything he does. But in Django, he was special in Django. Leonardo DiCaprio acted his ass. You know the story, how he really hurt his hand in real life.
And he kept going.
They didn't say cut, kept going.
Yep.
That's called getting into character and becoming that character, man. Django was an experience. Like, I mean, Quentin gave me so many great experiences, but for me to cheer and stand up in the movie theater, you thought I was at a Cannes Fan Festival or something like that. I was clapping and cheering. Whew, man, set me free. And Jamie, you did that by whipping that white ass with that bullwhip. Whew, I love it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Jamie put in work in that film. He acted his ass off, man. The script is so good, but I gotta say, there's one thing I didn't like about that film, and it was I wanted to see the brother kill Calvin Candy.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that. And I read the original script of Django. There's some shit that was left out of the film. I'm glad they left it out. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm glad they didn't shoot that and put that in there, because it would have been something else. You know what I'm saying? They made the right decision. Have you read the original script for Django?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I read the original script. Now the writing style, like, I think Quentin Tarantino is a master at writing, but there's some things in there that it was wise that they didn't shoot it. I'll just put it that way. I don't want to Debbie down the first episode, but we'll talk offline about the shit that they left out. But overall, the movie in its completion, I think it was a great film, and it might be his best work. It just might be his best work, man.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
the only thing that made me feel uncomfortable, there's a scene where they're playing some hip hop rap music. I'm like,
Yeah,
but that's Quentin for you. I mean,
right.
it's supposed to be a
Anachronism.
Western. Yeah, that didn't
Right.
feel right. The whole thing about the D is silent, and how do you know about English during that time? So, but that's Quentin
Mhm.
for you. So I
Mhm.
accepted that, but it was a little bit out of place, a little hip hop rap song. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
You had Tupac and Rick Ross
Yeah,
during
I
the
was like,
shootout scene. Yeah.
yeah. But other than that, it's flawless. Memorable characters. I remember Samuel L. had an interview. He says, "So, Quentin, my man, you want me play the most hated, diabolical black man ever on cinema?" And Quentin said, "Yeah." He says, "All right, I'll do it."
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I hated that character because he brought it to life, how could you not be glued to the screen watching Samuel L. work?
Mm-hmm.
That man was disgusting. And when he figured everything out at the dinner table in the kitchen, he's like, y'all know each other, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he was smart. He was running everything from behind the scenes. He was
Absolutely.
he was the puppet master.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He was not dumb in
No.
the least. He was not dumb in the
No.
least. He played dumb, but he was smarter than everybody on that damn plantation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sure was.
He was a
Sure
coon,
was.
but he was a coon. He was a coon like a fox. I'll tell you that much.
Most
You know.
definitely.
But Samuel played the shit out of that role, man, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, 3 years after that, Quentin comes out with Hateful Eight. Now, my experience with Hateful Eight, because ever since Kill Bill, I never missed a Quentin Tarantino movie in the film opening weekend, in the theaters opening
Right.
weekend at all. Like, I never would miss it. But 3 years after that, I went to see Hateful Eight during Christmas time,
Yep.
and I saw the Roadhouse version. Now, I'm not sure if you saw the Roadhouse version, but the Roadhouse version, it came with like these programs, like it had like a booklet.
Yep.
Did you? That's the one you saw? Okay.
Mhm.
So, how was your experience with Hateful Eight?
Hateful Eight, man. Quentin twice got me to go out on Christmas Day to see his movies. One was Jackie Brown,
Mm-hmm.
and the second one was The Hateful Eight. Again, me and my boy Charles went to go see The Hateful Eight opening day on Christmas, and it was playing at an old time theater. This place on Broadway in Sacramento near downtown. They have an old 1930s theater, like with the stadium seating, wood
Mhm.
floors. They kept it immaculate. The
Mm-hmm.
marquees are outside and placed in glass. You got the tile floor. It's old school, and it came with the programs and everything. And
Mhm.
this particular movie had an intermission, like the good old days. There was an
Mhm.
intermission for 15 minutes. You can get up and go to the restroom, right smack dab in the middle of the movie. And I'm like, man, I ain't did nothing like that since I was a toddler. My parents used to tell me about this to be intermission with movies. So I thought this was cool. It was like being a
Yep.
kid again,
Same.
old school theater, Quentin Tarantino Christmas Day. But again, a lot of people of color love Quentin, but I don't ever see them at the theater when his movies come out. I go to see The
Mhm.
Hateful Eight. I can count the black people on two fingers, me and Charles.
Mm.
Again, this movie took place back in the day. The N word was being dropped left and right.
Left and right. Yep.
Homegirl's character had a filthy mouth. And what came out of her mouth, I was just like, Lord have mercy. Like, whew. Quinn, you be pushing the envelope, brother. I tell you. I know your mama got rid of your daddy and got with a black man later, so you think you got a ghetto pass, but still, bro, you pushed the limits with some of this dialogue. And that movie was tough to sit through. I enjoyed it. And that intermission came at the right time. That's when that older white gentleman was in the room with them and he was racist. the way he was
Mm-hmm.
talking to Samuel L. Jackson, I was like,
Mm.
I'm looking around. I think the people next to me knew I was getting pissed. They were like sitting straight. They looked like sex dummies. It was like, and the intermission came and went outside. I just took a deep breath. And, I don't know, man. You know, because the conversation was happening in Hollywood and amongst people of color like me and you. Yeah, I love Quentin, but he's getting real comfortable with that N word.
Right,
Real, you know, I know there were slaves in Django and this one, but I'm like, man, everybody and mama is dropping that N word with the hard ER. I'm
Hey,
like,
that's the one thing. That's the one thing that's the my one knock against him.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, you're not getting a ghetto pass with me. You're getting a professional pass as a filmmaker with me, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But he always has a redemption story with people who drop that word so much, and I love it because they got it. I mean, homegirl, they got her ass good. But the homeboy, the son of the racist father,
yep, in the cold blizzard, yeah,
in the cold blizzard in the snow,
yeah,
that was payback. And I made sure I laughed. Everybody laughed at the end of that part, but I made sure me and Charles, we laughed like we were circus clowns. I laughed my ass off. Oh man, because I was like, "Whew, Quentin." I said, "Okay, you redeemed yourself," because man, I hated those characters. The Hateful Eight is a great title. It lived up to this name. So I remember he wasn't going to release it because, or direct it because the script had leaked.
Right.
Like a year prior, but he still did it. Yeah, because Kurt Russell is awesome in that movie. You know,
it's incredible. Yeah,
he's an incredible actor. Of course, you got Samuel L. You had some surprises in there when my man Channing Tatum was in the movie. I'm like, what?
Right. Now let me ask you this. I had a debate with one of my friends.
Okay.
Now, the scene where Channing Tatum is revealed, right, underneath the floor, would you say that's a twist or a reveal? Because they've been down there the whole time. And so they say that a twist is something that changes the whole movie, right?
Right.
Or would you say that him being down there the whole time was a reveal? What's your take on it?
I'm gonna say it's a reveal.
Okay.
Because it was part of the plan the whole time. No, Kurt Russell didn't know what he got himself into. He thought he knew, but it's a fine line. It could be a twist, but it changed the complexion of the whole story for damn sure. I tell you that.
I thought it was I thought it was a twist, but now I'm on the fence about it.
Yeah,
because it just depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Because they came in a week earlier or so and set up shop and had it, you know what I'm saying? Their plan kind of went awry, but again, that's in Quentin fashion. He'll go back in time and kind of contextualize things for you. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. The more I think about it, I'm kind of leaning towards a twist. But it could be used, both words could be used interchangeable. Twist or reveal, either way.
Right. Absolutely.
But that was a great film. Great, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a strong joint, man. I'm glad I went to go see it when I saw it, where I saw it, and how I saw it. Like, you know, the roadshow version.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. I got to use the restroom during the intermission, and I got to put some change in the meter so I wouldn't get janked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It was cool. I needed a breather because the dialogue was so thick.
Yep.
You can cut it with a knife in that theater, man. And it was an older crowd. It wasn't a young New Jack City crowd. These were people in their 50s and 60s that like westerns. And Quentin. Remember, that movie was a western. So it brought the western crowd out, people who are a lot older than me. And they were like laughing. I'm like, oh yeah, keep laughing.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the experience you want at a theater. You want to be ticked off. You want to be uneasy. You want to have joy. You want to laugh. And Quentin gave me some of my best moments ever as a theatrical experience, man. So, Quentin, you're my dog. You tested a brother a few times, but I still love you like a play cousin.
Hey, hey, man, he delivered, and I don't think he's never not delivered. He
Absolutely, man.
he knows his brand. He knows his audience, and he understands that when he comes out, people are going to talk about it. Listen, his last film came out right before the pandemic hit, and everything after that film changed. You know what I'm saying? As far as theatrics, and he's a big theatric guy. So I think when his
Yeah,
next movie comes out, he's gonna do great.
yeah.
He knows his value, man, and I'm wanting to see what he comes with next because he scrapped his latest idea. So
Hmm.
I'm wondering what he comes out with next, man.
Who knows? That's the best thing. And people like us, we don't mind waiting because we know it's going to be fantastic.
Right. And he's gonna take his time. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna
And
take
do
his
it
time.
right.
He's not gonna rush. Now, segue, because I'm gonna bring this thing full circle. We started off with how Jordan Peele brought us together, right? And I
Right.
want to end with a bonus, right? Now, speaking of somebody who takes their time, Jordan Peele takes their time. In fact, his next movie comes out in October of 2026. How do you feel about that,
Damn.
man?
I think he heard the critics. I think the noise got a little loud for him when his movie Nope came out.
Mhm.
It was misunderstood, I think. Um, it took me a while to digest. I've seen it 3 times in theaters, but once I got the gist of it and understood what it was, I loved it. I loved it when I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a UFO. I remember I hooked you on to this one lady on Instagram. She broke it down. She goes, "No, that was a kaiju." I'm like,
Mm.
wow, it makes sense. And I love the
Mhm.
movie even more. But the strike happened, the writer strike, the actor strike happened. So that set him back. But I think he wants to scare us the old fashioned way. He went to the fantastical. He went, with a genre like a slasher movie with us. His first one is more diabolical with the mind. So there's
Mhm.
3 different horror films that he gave us. And now I think he's gonna do something now that really messes with us and make
Mhm.
us think even more. So he's taking his time. But I think he heard the little bit of criticism because he was a rock star, the first 2 films. And then Nope kind of like, I noticed the YouTube crowd who loved him were like, well, see, he's not the same. His first movie was the best, and now his second one was okay. This one was worse. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I love all 3 films equally,
I love.
but that's the universe we live in. People love to criticize. They find it reason to criticize, and I think he's like, okay, all right. And I think he said some things that got people of non-color upset. He won't have a white leading person in his movie. Amen. That's his
Mhm.
choice. Tim Burton don't have black people in his movies until recently. So,
Mhm.
and I love Tim Burton, but he don't hire black people to be in his movies. I don't get mad at that. So,
Right.
people, hey, when black people are in control and we make decisions, respect that decision. And I
Mhm.
think Jordan Peele gained a few enemies with some interviews he had, like at UCLA and some other colleges, when he spoke his mind. We live in a social media, people want to respond, and that's not fair. No, what's not fair is Hollywood never had leading black people in movies for years. There was maids and slaves for years. And now that we got some control and some pull, now you want to push back. And Jordan Peele is our modern day hero as a
Mhm.
black director, black writer, and the man's married to a white woman, so he ain't racist. So stop the noise. But
Mhm.
he keeps people like me and you abreast how important it is to speak your mind in your films as a black director. And I love Jordan Peele for that. And between him and Spike, that's what keeps me doing what I do. I'm not apologetic when my cast is all black and brown. You know, I'll mix it up here and there, but sometimes you want to tell our story and not everybody else's story. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I feel you, man. I thought Nope was fantastic. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah.
I thought it was incredible, man. I just think Get Out, man, it just set the bar so high that anything that came out after would just be rendered inferior. I mean, when you come out smoking like that with Get Out, he came out smoking hot with that one. And that Get
Got
Out
an
changed the
Oscar.
game. Yeah, he got an Oscar off the first joint.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And remember his background, comedic.
Comedic, yep.
TV show on comics with a Comedy Central,
Yep.
Ken and Peele. You know, he was a joke. And he had a few
Right.
movies that came out before that were comedic. So when this movie was advertised, I'm like, is it a spoof?
Right. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, Jordan Peele?
Like, I don't know.
Right. What?
And it said from
It was
director
supposed to
Jordan
be
Peele, not,
because
hey man.
when I first saw the trailer for Get Out, I'm like, okay, this looks dope, but it also looks like a SNL skit. That's what I'm like, this looks
Yeah.
good, but is it serious or is it a joke? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And I'm like,
right.
yo, this looks dope, man. And then I heard the buzz. I heard the reviews, early reviews, and I'm like, oh, I got to see it. I got to see it. When I saw it, I saw an advanced screen, and I'm like, yo, this is. I saw it 2 times after that and paid to go see it 2 times in theaters. That movie is incredible, man. That movie is
that was a movie I seen. I went back several times and took people with me to see it. And I like watching their reaction. You know, it was like, it was the perfect movie for people who date out their race. If you got a white girlfriend and you're a brother or vice versa, I want to be in the car in the back seat riding home with you guys, see what you're going to talk about. Because that sparked, because I was that guy. I dated enough white women and been in uncomfortable circumstances where I was like, nah. It ended the relationship. Said, fuck this. You know?
Right. It was too much going on.
Too much. And that movie just, for me, it was so relatable. That's what scared me even more. I was that guy out somewhere far at some little country wedding. I'm the only black ink spot out there. Only person close to me was my girlfriend. She dated another brother previously and had a mixed baby by him. So she had a little half black daughter. That's the only thing I could relate to. All these white people standing around at this wedding. And something happened to me, man, where after the wedding was over, it was the reception. I'm cool. I'm talking to a group of white dudes. We were all talking and conversing. And one of them said, hey, man, you ever been to a necktie party? I'm like, what? And he did like this with his tie. You ever been to a necktie party? And I sat there and looked, and the other 2 white dudes was laughing. And I sat there, and I looked at him, and he knew he fucked up. He knew he fucked up. I'm not going to embarrass my girlfriend and her mother, because it was her mother's people that got married, like her niece or something. So I'm not going to show my color in public. I said, all right, dude. I just walked off, and my girl was there. I said, hey, we got to go. I'm about to kill somebody. So what happened? I told her what happened. She said, grabbed her purse. Mom, we're leaving. She said, why, babe? And she told her mom what happened. She goes, TJ, I'm so sorry. Please, baby, I understand you. Matter of fact, I'm leaving too. We all bounced.
Wow.
We all bounced. Yeah, man. I'm never that guy to be at a job with a bunch of white people that tell black jokes. I'm gonna swing on you. I don't play that. Only thing that saved that dude from getting hit, I was at a wedding. It was my girlfriend's mom's people that got married, and I was like, they say act your age, not your color. Well, I acted my age. I was about to act my color. I was like, man, I understand alcohol has something to do with it, but alcohol is truth serum.
Yes.
I said,
yes.
you've been around too many black people You've been around too many
Mm-hmm.
black people. It's okay to use the N word or tell them black jokes around them. They laugh. I'm not the one. I'm a whoop every single inch of that ass. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, man.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely, man.
Get Out resonated with me.
For
It,
sure.
whoo, whoo, boy, it resonated with me.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've never, you know what I'm saying? I've never been towards down the path of the sunken place. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it doesn't it resonated in the sense of being uncomfortable being around a bunch of white people and being the only black person. That's always made me uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I try to not put myself in those situations. But based on your experience, I can see how it resonated with you more. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's one of
Mm.
several stories. That's the most memorable one. But yeah, man, I've been in situations where I dated this white girl. Her daddy was racist,
Mm.
and we was together for so long. I finally got a chance to meet him. He was from Texas, so he was a redneck hardcore racist, right? And I think I was the first black guy she ever dated. Her name is Shannon. I mean, Shauna Caldwell. And he came out to see her because he got divorced from her mom years ago. She moved to California, and her mom was cool, loved me, called me son. I call her mom, beautiful lady. And
Mm.
she goes, "Well, my dad is racist." And we always had conversations about him. She goes, "Now you get to meet him." I said, "What?" He's coming to Sacramento and wants to go camping.
Mm.
So, man, the things we do for the people we're with at the time, right? So I said, "All right, I'll meet this cracker, and also you don't slip." And she said, "Well, he knows you're black." I said, "Well, of course." When I met him, we made eye contact, and he was skinny. He was tall and skinny. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'd kill him." So when I shook his hand, I squeezed it. He seen my biceps and shoulder muscles. He was like, "Oh yeah, motherfucker, I will fuck you up." So yeah, and your daughter's with a big old strong, big old black buck, and I'm knocking that bottom out every night. Yes. But he wanted to go camping, right? And she had a little son. And man, let me tell you, it was me, her son, her dad, and her dad's buddy from way back in the day, right? We all go camping out there in Placerville, which is white area 101. No brothers out there. Here I am in the middle of a camp at night, campfire, we cooking and talking. I never told too many people this story. I never said it publicly, man, but we were talking. You know how you talking, you get comfortable, you start talking like yourself when you're around your own people. His daughter was there, his grandson was there, his partner. He was like, "Yeah, man. And I remember one time, and I got and these two little Nick, and he caught himself. He was telling a story about some little black kids, and he said, "Man, and this little Nick," and he caught himself and looked at me. I just looked at him, and I'm pretty sure with the fire burning and the reflection of my eyes, I probably looked like the devil, like I wanted to kill him. I just got up and said, "Hey, man, finish the conversation after I leave." And I went to the tent. Shauna, babe, I said, "Get your motherfucking hands off me. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, and y'all motherfuckers can kill me right now." And I felt like
Mhm.
that. I'm like, "Man, y'all can kill me right now and nobody know." I could
Mhm.
not stop. I mean, I'm in a tent like this all night, looking up, hearing bugs and crickets, and man, I was out of my element. I like hearing sirens and gunshots. I'm comfortable with that. But the crackling of fire and white guys slapping their knee because they think something is funny, man, I was like, man, I am stupid for being out here. I listened to this fucking white woman meet
Mm.
my daddy, and man, let me tell you, it was hard. But the funny thing is, and this is a true story. After he met me, he really, really felt bad. He kept trying to apologize for what he was about to say. I go, "Dude, forget it." He went back to Texas a changed man, and within a year, I heard he adopted a little black boy and raised as his son. because he always wanted a son. And he said, please, I want to let you guys know because of you and your boyfriend, it changed my life. Because I thought black people were this way and they're not. TJ is a great guy. We both were Dallas Cowboy fans. We had so much in common, but his favorite word was the N word. But yeah, he actually adopted a little black boy about a year later and raised him as his own son. So it had a happy ending. But man, when I tell you, Get Out resonated with me, dude, I was that dude for real.
Let me ask you this: has anybody heard from that black boy that he adopted?
No.
Hey man, I think we need to do a wellness check on bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure he didn't make him a slave or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to figure out some names and check on bruh. Cause
make sure somebody go down to Texas and chain his ass, huh?
Yeah. Well, how long ago was this?
Yeah, that was a trip. This is back in the 90s, man. It was a long time ago.
Man, I hope the brother's all right, man, because I hope he didn't turn out to, because usually, man, when racist white supremacists adopt black children, their children end up being coons, or they have some type of something wrong with them when they get older. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Who knows?
Oh,
I don't know, man. I mean, because when I broke up with her, we had no more contact. You know, I'm not trying to look up on Facebook and nothing like that. Hopefully, she got married. You know, who cares? But yeah, man.
But yeah, Get Out, man. Get Out was.
Hey,
I can see
that was
how
a great movie, and it scared the shit out of me. Like people said, man, it wasn't really that scary. It's more suspense. For you, it wasn't scary. For me, it was terrifying because I was like, there's a possibility I couldn't be here. I'm out there in the country. That's twice I'm out somewhere far, surrounded by white people, and somebody say something derogatory about black people. And you look around, you're like, oh, I'm the only black person. Your heart sinks. And for him using the sunken place, I know what it's like to feel like you're free falling and drowning at the same. You feel like, why am I here? You know, it makes you think everything like, damn, is the nappy that damn good? Hell no. No.
Right.
Not to be in that situation. You know, and it
that's
makes you
terrifying.
Yeah, man. And what made me upset because years previous, I was really militant. I dated nothing but black women. But that's another story, man. But yeah, man, I started messing with them honey buns, them white she devils. And
yeah, man.
You know, they don't understand racism from their point of like, well, you know, because you're removed from racism because your ancestors did it, and dating black guys doesn't cure everything, you know. But
that's
you definitely gonna pay for everything in this relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
That's not 40 acres in the mill. Baby, you won't. Yes, get it. Yes, you will. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But it was a price to pay, man.
Like that scene in Malcolm X, you know, go rub my feet. You know what I'm saying? Remember that scene in Malcolm X?
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
Classic.
All the best foot rubs I ever had was not by black women. Let me tell you that.
Oh,
They don't stop until you tell them to stop. They rub until you ask them to stop, brother.
So that was the ancestors getting that get back through the foot rub.
I guess so. You know, yeah, I guess so. I don't know, but
you, man. Well, I never dated a snow bunny before, so I'm getting all these first person encounters from the TLA himself, man. You got a couple decades, or you got a decade and a half on me, so
yeah, man.
I'm just soaking this all up. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's funny. All these stories related to movies and how they spin off into other situations. Because trust me, in the future we'll talk about Shauna a lot because she's one of the first white women I dated after my Black Renaissance, and she paid the price. You know, when Spike Lee had to do a movie. We
Black
were
man.
going. Yeah, man. When I was in college, man, it was strictly black, man. And then, but that a change of heart. But Shauna and I got because we went to the movies every single week during the course of us dating, and I went to the movies like twice a week back in the day. So all them black films, Menace to Society, all of them movies. Oh, brother, I got stories for days. But like I said, that's another episode.
Man.
Another
That's
episode, brother.
Man. Well, we got more coming. This is just episode 1, man. This was an amazing episode, man. TLA, thank you for the gems. There's more to come. You know what I'm saying? The next episode, we got we're gonna talk about Spike.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be the one, you know what I'm saying? And so, yes, sir. I want to thank everybody for watching. This is episode 1 of Q&A with TLA. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and tell them what to do. What's that last thing? Leave your
Fade to
comments
black,
below.
baby.
Fade to black.
Leave them comments.
Fade to black.